Hello, Aries. Welcome to your monthly reading for May 2025. This is for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And if you are new to my channel, I'm going to give you an overview of what you can expect, your forecast astrologically. Then I'm going to do your spread, and then I'll break it down week by week. I'm going to pull more cards, and I'll tell you some aspects that are going to have enormous impact on you. And then of course, a second spread. Now, Whoa, Aries, who are you? We're here. And, literally, like, who are you, right? And you're going to be asking yourself that question because of what's happening this month. This is an incredibly historic month, especially for you. I told you about this since last year. Okay, so this is a major month with a profound shift. This planetary alignment that you and nobody on Earth living right now has ever experienced. A time of great change, a landmark month because Saturn officially moves into your sign. Saturn has not been in your sign in 30 years, but what just happened last month? It was Neptune that moved into your sign, and Saturn has not been with Neptune in hundreds of years. So they're together now, all right? And as you recall, as I said in your 2025 annual forecast for Aries, I said this is the time of the Great Awakening. We're in the age of ascension, age of wisdom, age of awareness, the year of the snake, transformation, shedding skin. We're in the year of 9, right? 9 is humanity. Humanity is changing, but 9 is also the end, fulfillment, preparing for 10. That's 2026. That's the year. Remember, this is the year of the 4 C's, community, collective, consciousness, courage. And that's because all the planets are changing signs this year, right? But the 4 outer planets, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, are changing signs in this compressed time frame that we've never seen. They're all moving into fire and air. They're all moving from feminine to masculine, and they're all aspecting, okay? At that 0-degree point. The world axis, a critical degree, a degree of great change, of new beginnings, the beginning of the beginning, right? We're leaving the age of Pisces, moving into the age of Aquarius. But for you, that big wave that you've been riding since your birthday season, mid-March, that you were on, it's brought you now to this new area in your life, this brand new era in your life. And you're gonna see, of course, there's more in the back. We're gonna talk about it because Saturn's gonna move into Aries. Now that's huge. That's moving into your sign. And again, what makes it really impactful is that Saturn, again, is with Neptune. We haven't seen that in hundreds of years. So we do have to consider this special, all right? And I want you to expect great change. And you are going through great change. I can't even begin to tell you how many of my Aries friends have called me about all these big changes happening in their lives. You're going through it, okay? Neptune moving into your sign, Saturn moving into your sign. You had that 6-planet conjunction, the new moon solar eclipse in your sign. I mean, just a month ago, come on. You're going through some really great new beginnings, okay? And so, actually, please look at my last live stream where I talk about the geophysics affecting Earth. The world is changing, right? But you play a part of it. We're all part of the collective, which is shifting, which is awakening and having greater power, okay? So, first, May, you're going to notice, and again, there's more on the back, and we'll flip it over when we get there. There's no oppositions, okay? Unlike last month, all right? And we only have 2 squares. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. And listen, the other thing is, and I'm going to walk you through it, but remember, those are outside of the lunations. We're just talking about planetary, right? Outside of lunations, fixed stars, planetoids, all of that, okay? Now, first 2 weeks, remember, still in Taurus season, so very grounding. Please spend time in nature, align your frequencies, all of that, because we are in a fiery time. You're amped up, Aries. You're feeling it. You're ready to go. You're ready. You're 5 steps ahead. All right. You're feeling ambitious and you've got this tenacity. You're feeling this empowerment, this enthusiasm. It's running in your veins. Why? Because we have Mars in Leo all month, fiery, right? We have Venus in your sign all month, fiery. We have Mercury in your sign, but Mercury is changing signs 3 times this month. Yeah. Mercury's moving fast. Yeah. And then don't forget at the end of April, we have that new moon in Taurus. So it kicked off May. And so you're going to feel that for the first 2 weeks. What does that mean for you? Well, Aries, a lot of y'all, it's money. A lot of y'all have your mind on money, salary, income. That's all you're thinking about right now. Okay? Finances. That's all you're thinking about. And a lot of y'all are getting new jobs. A lot of y'all are getting promotions. A lot of y'all are starting your own business. And don't forget, the sun, sometimes it's not all about you. It may be about your partner. It may be about, do you know what I mean? Like things like that. All right. So anyway, that's a whole thing. If you're not here for money, remember the second house is self-worth. It's self-value. There's things that are building your confidence now. This is big. And then remember, Saturn moving into your sign. We're going to talk about that, okay? History making with him, with Neptune. All right, Saturn, think about 1996 to 1999, the last time Saturn was in your sign. All right? Remember, these are all, by the way, the blue asterisk, the best aspects of the month. You might want to take some notes. And I'm going to, listen, I talked a lot about April in the live stream, April 2025 live stream that I did. You can, because there's just too much happening this month. Again, this is a rare month, okay? And so we're going to break it down in your weekly forecast, but I'll talk about some of the aspects at the end of this, end of this video. But again, this month is bonkers. It's auspicious. It's encouraging. There's enormous progress and joy. And again, by the time we get to the end of the month, when Saturn moves into your sign, you're going to be in a completely different area in your life, okay? If you haven't had great change happen already, oh, you're going to see it now. You're going to see it. You're on the brink of it. All right. Huge change. And just wait until June. Remember, I've told you June is one of the best months of 2025. I'll leave some breadcrumbs along the way. So I want you to get excited. All right. And because I still get a lot of comments about this, yes, please read your sun and your rising. I talked about this in, one of the last live streams. I'll leave it in the description box at the end of the video. They complete the picture. They complete the picture. That's your full horoscope. Okay. I tell you how to get your birth chart. If you don't know your rising, look at my live streams. I talk a lot more about that. I can't even, because I ran out of time. All right. Your sun is only half your horoscope. And don't forget your moon. All right. That's why I do lunations and the second spread. I've told you sometimes the moon aspects are stronger than the planetary aspects. Okay. And the moon is going to be in yours. We'll talk about that. All right. And so that is your emotions, your feelings. If you're feeling emotionally charged or heightened or burnout or drained or defensive, or your maternal side comes out really strong, or there are things going on at home and family and your loved ones, or your relationships, or you have strong intuition, that's your moon. And it's going to resonate here. Yeah. Right. But if you watch your moon sign, that's more you. That's more you. Every Aries has a different moon sign. All right. So don't forget to watch your moon for that. But just know that there's going to be enormous lunations in May. All right. And you are going to love May. Like I said, there's something really special in May. And I want you to remember and never forget life is a miracle. Okay. Literally, we have the uncanny perfect conditions that make all of this work. All of us alive. Take advantage of all that the universe offers, okay? Especially in May. And make the best out of it because life is full of opportunities. You have to take them, all right, Aries? Now, let's kick it off on Friday, the 2nd. We got Venus conjuncting Neptune, all right? So, here's the thing. What's happening at 1 degree? Listen, Venus conjuncting Neptune is happening in your sign. So guess who's going to feel this the most, right? And so I will talk about this aspect more in your weekly forecast. Again, there's a lot to cover here. I'll talk about it next week, okay? But just, again, nobody has experienced Venus conjunct Neptune in Aries in over 164 years. What does this mean for you? It's you feeling moved. This is you moving the needle forward on your personal goals. Again, 1 degree. Wow, that is the Aries degree. You are going to feel this. What are the chances, right? So you're going to feel this really strongly in terms of you leading the way and taking action for what brings you pleasure, what you desire. But remember, with compassion, with the arts, with spirituality, with your ideals, your imagination, intuition, creativity, this is a symphony. Both Venus and Neptune, little sister, big sister, remember, they represent music. And music is sound. Music is therapy. Music is healing. It's vibrations. feel this. Play some music this day. I've talked about hemisync in my live streams. That's the magic right there, right? Kicking up your gamma waves, right? So just use it. And both planets do represent creativity. You're going to feel this. You're going to feel this. It's creativity. It's compassion. It's love that makes us human. That's the divine. So if you're an artist, dancer, writer, mom, it doesn't matter. You're going to use this because this is great for world building, especially like fantasy novels, right? Like, you know, in Neptune, or really creative interior design, whatever it is. But it's for you to be creative, okay? To build the world that you want to live in. All right. So, and it does bear repeating. Neptune, I've talked about this. Visualize, vision board, visualize your goals. Okay. This is your vision. All right. Your finish line. Put yourself there. Put yourself on that timeline in confidence. It's happening in Aries, your sign. Venus is money. You want money? Visualize it. I told you about the story about Jim Carrey. You want love? Venus is love. Relationships? Put yourself, visualize it. You're putting yourself on that timeline, all right? Remember, visualization isn't just hermetic principles or spirituality. It's literally neuroscience. You create new neural pathways in your brain when you visualize. We all know this, and I have told you this. So please use this. Plant those seeds with the vision that you want. You get this portal of inspiration and passion and self-love right off the bat of May. You got to use it. Okay. Now, another thing that's happening is, actually, you know, Aries, just because I love you, I'll tell you one thing. And again, we'll talk about this more next week in the second spread when I do of the lunations. This is how powerful the lunations are, because what's happening this day, you want to know what's happening this day? Well, the moon's going to be in Cancer, right? The moon rules Cancer. But what's the moon going to do? I don't even have enough fingers. The moon is going to trine Venus, trine Saturn, sextile Uranus, trine Neptune, trine the North Node, and sextile Saturn. South Node. Sorry. So you've got the three most feminine planets, right? The moon, Venus, and Neptune working in perfect harmony. Like, are you joking me? Are you joke? You're going to feel this. This is the moon. You're going to feel this. All right. Especially a lot with home and family. Okay. So, who's going to feel this? If you are a cross watcher, if you watch for your rising or your moon, or for your girlfriend, or for your, husband, whoever it is, cardinal signs, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. I'm throwing in Taurus, and I'm throwing in Pisces. They're going to feel it the most. Now, if you know your birth chart, your natal chart, and this is something that I do that no one else does, okay, for your personal natal chart. Planets, if you have any planets between 29 to 2 degrees, fire signs, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, you're going to feel this, but it's so strong, everyone's going to feel it. All right. Now, the other thing that I'm going to tell you is Sunday, right? On May 4th. Yeah, Pluto goes retrograde just for a few months until October. Now, when we hear the word retrograde, we're like, oh no, this is good. This is amazing. Pluto's intense. It softens that intensity. And this is more for you to take that time for that deep inner growth in terms of the transformation you want coming from within. Yeah. Flexing your personal empowerment when it comes to your long-term hopes and wishes and dreams and goals, because that's what Pluto rules for you, Aries. Okay. Also, your social network, community that you're involved in, your benefactors, allies, friendships, your squad, best friend, things like that. Okay. That's the 11th house. So you're going to be really, really making some considerations here. But please do ask yourself, in terms of everything that I just said, how have you felt since November 2024 when Pluto did move into Aquarius? Okay. How did you feel? Remember, Aquarius is also humanity and the masses. So what is your contribution? Okay. The book that you're writing, the work that you do. What is your, right? So that's what you're going to be doing for a few months now. And I'm going to skip over a couple things. I'm just going to tell you, let me see the time, just the fact that, on Monday, on the 5th, we will have Mercury in your sign sextile Jupiter. This only happens twice a year. This is the only Jupiter aspect this month, right? Outside the lunations again, outside of asteroids and lunations, this is big. This is good, big. Remember, sextiles are windows of opportunities. You got to use this. This is in your third house. What does that mean? Jupiter, luck, good fortune, abundance, profit, wisdom, expansion. This is great for not only planning your future, this is how you can expand, and the seeds that you plant, this is growing them, right? That's what Jupiter does. It grows the things that it touches. It is the water for your seeds because Jupiter does expand. And for you, this is contracts. You're signing contracts, your agreements, or you're traveling, or there's something here with marketing. There's something here with ideas. There's something here with business, launching a business. All right, take advantage. Okay. Now, and remember, I think I told you Venus is in your sign all month. Like, you're going to go after the things that you want for sure. On Tuesday, the 6th, yeah, we have Venus sextile Pluto again. This is going to be the last time. Oh, wow. You are going to feel this. This is money. That we'll talk about it in your weekly forecast. This is money. This is sex. This is power. This is, pick your White Lotus character. Yeah. This is secrets coming to the surface too. These are things being revealed, things that you needed to see, or even maybe things that you needed to tell. But this is very intense and intimate. Okay. Now, on the 10th, Mercury will move into Taurus. So, whoa. So now you got the Sun and Mercury in Taurus, right? Now, this is when you're talking to the talk in terms of money and finances and your values and the material possession things in your world. But also self-worth, self-value, all of that, okay? Things that bring you pleasure, things that you desire. But this is a great little slowdown. Remember, Taurus is that grounding energy to all this fiery energy, and Mercury is slowing down the thought process. Mercury leaving your sign, moving into a place that's a little bit more like, it's like practical, it's tactical, it's grounded, all right? Very different from Mercury in your sign, okay? This is taking a step back, looking at your path, looking at the big picture, okay? Does this make sense? What are the next steps? This is great. All in the name of gains and profits, all right? And planning, all right? And you're going to have Mercury here for 2 weeks. Now, I just said Sun and Mercury in Taurus. Don't forget, you got Uranus in Taurus too, all right? What are your breakthrough goals? What do you want to shake up? What will help your personal freedom? You're going to feel that for the next 2 weeks, okay? But there's a bigger thing that when we talk about money, we're going to get to that, all right? Now, and then on the 12th, yeah, we got the full moon in Scorpio. I mean, that's big. Talk about money again for you. Scorpio rules your 8th house. Money, inheritance, investments, bonuses, commissions, loans, paying off debts, scholarships, things like that, all right? Everything that you don't earn. It's shared assets, okay? Joint bank accounts, taxes, all of that's part of the 8th house. Now, remember, this is endings, culminations. That's full moons, turning points. It's a full moon in Scorpio, first of all. As we know, maybe you don't. That's why I'm here. Moons in Scorpio are already intense. And now you have a full moon in Scorpio where Uranus will be conjuncting the sun, yeah? Which we'll talk about in a second because you're going to start feeling it now, opposite this moon. Yeah? So, again, there just may be something here. Also, the 8th house, like I said, that's deep. It's your intimate relationships, and it doesn't have to be love. It can be business partners, things like that. But your personal transformation, okay? That's what the 8th house is. Death and rebirth, transformation, regeneration. There could be some stuff here with home and family as well, but just think surprises, the unexpected, breakthroughs as well, all right? Either way, something inside you needs to come out. That's the full moon. Remember, full moon illuminates, and this is a Scorpio full moon where it's all about things coming to the surface. And so, yeah, big for you. Big. All right? Remember, we're also coming after that new moon in Taurus, right? In your second house. So you've got all this money stuff happening for you, but this is definitely like, it's like being flexible, letting things go, patterns, habits, especially old thoughts, the way like, okay, I made money this way or for 10 years. No, now things are shifting. Everything's shifting. Now you got to think in a different way. That's what this wants. The full moon wants from you. All right. Remember, this is your caterpillar to butterfly moment. All right. Shedding skin. Think of the death card that's attributed to Scorpio. Right. All right. So we'll talk about it later in your weekly forecast, but this will be triggering the North Node and the South Node. So keep that in mind. And think about November 1st, 2024. This is this is definitely corresponding to that time. Think about the weeks surrounding that. All right, when we had that new moon in Scorpio. All right, but the same day. I don't know. Did I put it here? Yeah, Mercury will square Pluto that same day. So again, we'll talk about that. Again, there's just something here for you in terms of your long-term goals and your future plans, and like not only wealth building for you, but just money stuff. And then self-worth, self-value. There is an intensity to Mercury square Pluto. It can be extreme. So just don't doubt yourself. I've talked about polarities. Pluto can take Mercury's energies to extreme. All right. So don't doubt yourself. This is an aspect where you could be questioning a lot of things, but just going in circles, putting stress on yourself. Just stay frosty, be cool. There's also it's just a little bit of a squeeze. It's hot. This is a strong full moon that we're going to talk about more in your weekly forecast, but you're just going to be fine if you use this energy, you work with this energy. Why? Because Mercury will actually trine Pluto in 2 weeks. That's amazing. So you get through this speed bump, one of 2 squares this month, you're going to be fine. Tap into your inner Mulder, Scully, right? That's that energy here to see the big picture for yourself, because this is the deep thinker. That's what this aspect is. It's the powerful storyteller, the reporter, the psychologist, the intellectual. It's powerful, all right? I have Mercury square Pluto in my chart. So I've worked with this my entire life, right? So you can use this in your favor, all right? Now, if you do watch for your rising, your moon, if you're a cross watcher, or for your whoever, fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, like me, by the way, I'm Aquarius, will feel this entire day the most. But everyone's going to feel it. It's a full moon in Scorpio. All right. And if you know your birth chart, and I'm going to give this a wide degree. All right. The orb. If you know your birth chart, if you have any planets between 20 to 27 degrees in Scorpio, Taurus, or Virgo or Pisces, because of the, nodes being activated, you're going to feel this, right? The moon will trine the north node. The sun's going to sextile the north node and Saturn. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to throw in Pisces and Virgo too. Anyway, listen, here's the other thing. Now we're getting to the nitty gritty. All right. I don't even know if that makes sense for what's happening here. Now we're getting to the big kahuna. Let's say it that way. On the 17th or the 18th, depending on where you live. Okay. Because remember, a lot of these aspects happen like around midnight or late at night. So 17th, 18th, you got the sun conjunct Uranus. Big. It's happening at 27 degrees. Big. That's 9. I told you about the year 9. Okay. So now we have a Uranus Cazimi that only happens once a year. So, what does this mean for you? This is a day where it's a conjunction, first of all. It's strong. It's powerful. You're going to feel it days before, especially around the full moon. You're going to feel it days after. The chances of sudden, unexpected change are very, very high. With the sun conjunct Uranus, you are going to feel this, okay? It shakes things up. But you use this. I say all the time, use these aspects. Don't let them use you. Remember, this is happening in Taurus in your second house of income, salary, finances, right? What did I say about thinking in new ways? And then also self-worth, self-value, material possession, things that you desire. Maybe there's something here with food as well for y'all. But this is you shaking up routines. That's how you use this, okay? That's what Uranus wants you to do, especially in a powerful aspect in this, like this, all right? Change is the only constant in the world. That's why you got to be flexible, open-minded, and have that great change, okay? Have that great change. This is going to be big, all right? Now, interesting, I'll tell you now. Maybe I'll save this. I'm going to tell you because it's a big thing for you, all right? So, think about every May this past decade, since 2020. What were the big shakeups? What were the big changes that you had in your life? If you're taking action and using these aspects, not letting them use you, what were the big shakeups and changes you were making every May, every year since 2020? Because it happens every May, and it will for the rest of the decade. All right. It's a May thing. It's a May thing. All right. Pretty much the rest of the decade. So, anyway, we'll talk about it more in your weekly forecast. But why is this a big deal? Because remember what I said last week. In your last week's reading, Uranus is sextiling the North Node. All right. Trining the South Node. And even sextiling Saturn. That's still with the North Node. So this is part of your destiny. This is part of your journey. This is the reality you create for yourself. All right. Use this. Don't let it use you. Taurus and Aquarius will feel this the most. If you have any planets between 24 to 29 degrees in any fixed signs, it's, Taurus, Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio, or Pisces and Virgo. All right. And 0 to 5 degrees of Aquarius or Aries. You'll feel it. You'll feel this. Okay. Now, there's some things that are not on the whiteboard as well. Just remember, we're going to talk about those in your weekly forecast because there's another square, Mercury square Mars, that's happening that day. All right. And an illumination that's happening that day that amplifies this energy. That's why it is really big. But we'll talk about your weekly forecast. And then there's also the day after Jupiter will square the North Node and South Node. So we'll talk about it in your weekly forecast. Now, on the 20th, we have the sun moving into Gemini. So welcome to Gemini season. What is Gemini season? Well, for the next 4 weeks, it's I've got to know. All right. Or, ooh, I'm killing it on social media. Or I've had so many great job interviews. Or I've had the most stimulating conversation that's opening doors for me. Or I took this short trip that changed my perspective. Or I had a light bulb moment or it changed my life. That is Gemini season. Okay. That's the vibe for the next 4 weeks for you. Gemini season is stimulating, especially mentally, intellectually. I've got to know. I've got to do this, right? Even movement. Gemini is the reporter, is the writer, the researcher, but also the communicator, marketing, advertising, small business, local community, all of that highlighted for you. You're going to have a big focus here, family, travel, all in the name of stimulation. Yeah. All right. So use this energy. It's power of the mind over matter, expanding your consciousness. Remember Neptune really activated with, the Saturn conjunction we're about to move into. But don't forget, Jupiter is in Gemini now with the sun. Are you joking? Are you joking me? That's your third house of communication, of contracts, of agreements, of launching a business, of travel. Use this. Plant seeds. All right. Especially with the conversations you have, the texts you're sending, the emails, the learning new things, starting a bit. Be social. Gemini season is social and it's active, and I want you to use this. All right. That's how you use this, and you're just going to. It's natural. That's what the planets are doing for you right now. But you're going to feel a lot of movement here. All right. And it does bear repeating one more time. You're moving into, when we get to June, which is an incredibly special month. Everything that you're doing now is leading up to the rare Jupiter aspects will be happening. Okay, we'll be having in June. All right. Now, the sun will sextile Saturn that day. I love that. That's rewarding. You're gonna be rewarded. Okay, so again, Venus will trine Mars. You see that happening. We just had that 2 times. This is different. You got Venus in your sign. You got Mars in Leo. So wow, fire and all this air. Wow. Okay. So remember, this is the last time we're going to have this. This is, romance, intimacy, creativity. Yeah. Okay. Mars and Leo is, romance and intimacy and creativity. So all of that's going to be heightened for you. This is a time to have fun. All right. And yes, romance, sex, all of that. But romance in terms of like, what are you romantic toward? It can be creative projects. It can be work. It can be the arts. It can be, do you know what I mean? That new vacuum that's trending, whatever you want. All right. We'll talk about this in your weekly forecast. Not on the whiteboard. The sun is going to sextile Neptune. Wow. But let's get to it. 24th, 25th, depending on where you live. Here you go. Here's your mic drop. Yeah. You got Saturn moving into your sign. 30 years. It's been 30 years. Okay. This is happening around 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's my time, New York City time. Convert that to wherever you live in the world. So that's why it's, wherever you live, okay? Saturn will be here for 4 months with Neptune, all right? Giving you a preview. So this is what's happening for the next 4 months. From this point forward, you get a preview of what your life is going to be like from February 2026 and beyond. And again, This is enormous with these two together. The sheer magnitude of this. Aries, this is happening in your sign. You've got Saturn and Neptune in your sign. Can I just tell you real quickly, Aries? I don't think anyone else is going to tell you this. How big is this? We've only had Saturn conjunct Neptune because they are conjuncting, but I'm going to talk about that. But they're together in Aries, right? We've only had this 7 times in modern human history. 7 times. That's it. Think about the thousands of years, only 7 times. And so the last time was 1703. And then when you trace it back to like the first time, 593 BC. Okay? When we talk about modern human history. And so, yes, they're conjuncting, but here's the thing. I've explained in your 2025 forecast, yeah, they're together. They're together. And they're conjuncting, but you're going to feel this, but what's really happening is like it's kind of like they're at the same house party. They're both on the dance floor. They're vibing, but they haven't met yet. They're going to meet February 2026. That is a powerful conjunction because they're going to meet at 0 degrees, the beginning of the beginning in your sign. Remember, 0 degrees, the world axis, the creation degree. And when that happens, that has never happened. That has never happened. You can go back, and I'm sure it has. Listen, maybe 4,000 years ago, maybe, maybe. But I'm talking about modern human history. You can't trace this. So the beginning of the beginning, the reset. 2026, I told you that's the big year, okay? And remember, how big is that 0 degree point? I told you, look at what happened in your life. March to April, okay? All 6 planets hovering that 0 degree point on your axis, on Aries. So again, very big, very big. And what's happening now to September is, again, giving you that preview. So please use this. I have told you since the first microbe formed on Earth, Saturn is authority, the taskmaster, discipline, boundaries, limitations, restrictions, okay? And life lessons. Therefore, Saturn is karma. And so when you work with his rules, you learn your lessons, you pass your karmic journey. You're on a karmic journey. And so he does bring structure and stability and long-term growth for your goals and your commitments when you work with Saturn, because he doesn't like shortcuts. Remember, he puts on those aviators and now he's moved into your side. But what makes this really, really unique is because it's not just Saturn moving to your sign. It's not just Saturn and Neptune together. It's Saturn sextiling Uranus and Pluto, which you're going to feel greatly in June, over all summer. Remember, windows of opportunity that Saturn normally doesn't give out so easily. So when I say when we get to summer, oh, you just wait. You're going to be a completely, right? Okay? Or winter in the southern hemisphere. And then over fall, Saturn is going to trine Jupiter. Like, you can't even make this up. This is insane. Now, you have the planet of authority in your sign, right? And so your sign, so it's all about you. It's like the I am of the zodiac. Remember, I've talked about this: self-starter, self-sufficiency, initiation, leadership, entrepreneurship, pioneering spirit. Yeah. You got Saturn here. Okay. And so this is Saturn saying, I'm going to make you work hard for you to master who you are. All right. That's why I said, who are you? Right. And so Saturn doesn't make it easy, but it shapes you for who you are. And again, Saturn is doing these breezier aspects to me. He's making it a little bit easier for you to pass this test, but it is slow and steady. It's several years. So, for the first 4 months, remember, you're getting a preview, but you got to take action for where you want to be in 2026. But Mr. Miyagi style, wax on, wax off. That's Saturn, okay? That's Saturn. He wants you to take things slow and steady. And so it's kind of an interesting energy because Aries is, competitive and action oriented, like go, go, go. But Saturn is going to make you wax on, wax off. Practice makes perfect, okay? And you're going to be finding yourself doing things a lot more independently, like more like my way. This is my way or the highway. Everyone's going to feel that. You especially, it's in your sign. It's all about you and your identity, the role that you play. And you need his rules, right? You're just going to feel very driven. And he brings that structured experiences in your life. He grounds you in that reality with Neptune here, which is all about dreams and illusion. But he makes your dreams become reality because he's working with Neptune, all right? But with a disciplined, realistic approach. But it's all about patience and being assertive and goal driven still, all right? But very like wax on, wax off, okay? And then you earn your karma points, okay? All right. So slow and steady wins the race. It's not hit the ground running. It's hit the ground speed walking. All right. Pick your favorite Will Ferrell movie. All right. So I'll talk about this later because it's big. It's epic. It's major. All right. In your weekly forecast. And again, you can even see the April 2025 live stream I did where I talk about a lot more. Okay. Because there's a lot more to this because there are lower expressions of Saturn and Neptune in Aries. All right. Now, so just again, at this point, just create your reality. That's what this is for you. Okay. Why do you think people say life is what you make it, right? For thousands of years. That's why I say you create your reality, and it's true. And you've got to take that action. Okay. As above, so below. Now, let's get to the end. Okay. So the last week, by the way, if you're taking notes, circle the entire last week of May in your calendar. This is bonkers. It actually starts with the Sun trine Pluto. Is that even on the whiteboard? Yeah, it is. You've got, wait, where's the new moon? Hold on. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, we haven't even got there yet. Have we? Oh, yeah. So the Sun trine Pluto is happening on the day of the Saturn moving into Aries. All right. And for you, Aries, speaking of the lunations, the moon will be in your sign, kicking off Saturn moving into your sign. Again, watch your moon. Oh, you don't have to. You're Aries. Well, but then when the moon moves into Taurus, that's a big deal. Again, we're talking about money here for you. So Mercury will conjunct Uranus. Again, a once-a-year aspect. We'll talk about this. You're having breakthroughs. Big breakthroughs. Finances, money, self-worth, self-value. All right. Mercury moves into Gemini. Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. This is amazing. Hot mic alert. Yeah. This is all about communicating mindset. All right. So you are going to be communicating more than you would believe. Okay. More than you believe. And you're already feeling it with Mars and Leo, but whoa, you're going to feel it the last, because Mars will sextile Saturn. So yeah, at this point, I would be surprised. And this is at 0 degrees. Remember, Mercury just moved into Gemini. Saturn just moved into Aries. I would not be surprised. I actually would be surprised if at this point, because it's a 0 degree point, if you haven't signed a contract, agreement, had an important conversation, had a big Zoom call, whatever it is, yeah, started a business, planted a seed, Saturn brings that longevity. So do all that, please. All right. Now, why? On the 26th or the 27th, depending on where you live, we got the new moon in Gemini. Remember what I said in your annual forecast? I said, this is one of the best and one of my favorite new moons of the entire year. I'd even say the past 2 years. Okay. Why? You got a Mercury ruled new moon. That's strong. Okay. But it's conjuncting Mercury, trining Pluto, sextiling Neptune and Saturn, freshly new in your sign. Mercury is sextiling Saturn. Are you joking? This is insane. This is insane. Remember, Jupiter is in Gemini too. Expansion, luck. All right. So this new moon, very enthusiastic, fun, adventurous, the beginning of something new, collaborative energy for you, very mingling. You need to communicate or travel. But when you travel, you're going to meet new people. Yeah. So remember, Saturn's here bringing that stability. Neptune's here bringing that compassion, imagination. Pluto's here bringing that empowerment. There's money stuff here. All right. Travel's a big thing. I would not be surprised if y'all are traveling here at this point. All right. This is going to be big. So you are a magnet. This is magnetizing. All right. What do you want for the next 6 months? Yeah. Mercury will trine Pluto. You see that here. There's someone opening doors for you, a VIP, a boss, based on communication. That's Mercury. All right. So be the change you want to see in the world with everything that's happening this month. That's Gandhi. Remember what I said. Neptune in Aries, Gandhi. All right. You're going to be feeling that. You're going to feel that. And yeah, not on the whiteboard. We do have a Mercury Kazemi at the end of the month, closing out the month. It's amazing. You've got a lot happening for you, Aries. So let's get started. Let's see what's going on for you, Aries, for the month of May 2025 for Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Yep. Aries, wow. Aries, I do a traditional, how are y'all doing? I do a traditional cultural cross spread, offers the best overview. If we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. Secondly, Aries, you know I love y'all. And I'm not even joking about this was they came out of the woodworks. All my Aries friends, it was that Libra full moon. To be honest, there's a lot happening. You had Neptune move in your sign. You had that zero. You're going through great change. You know I love y'all. All right, let's get started. Wow. Power. Whoa. Okay. Aries, you're good. We're gonna talk through some things. Okay. Your North Node is showing up here. Wow. Okay. You got the Page of Swords. Great. What did I say? You're already in a new mindset. As you move into May, everything's shifting. It already has for you, and I'm already feeling that, and I'm already picking that up. It's your mind's already shifted. Okay. And you can trace that back and think about when it started. You're moving into May with a brand new mindset. And I want you to, I'm dropping these forecasts at least a week before May begins. There's your opportunity. And he's like a sponge, the Page of Swords. It's fresh, new energy with swords are the mental suit. And so what did I say? Communication is going to be big for you. This is all about communication. It's all about your thoughts, your ideas, the way you're thinking. A lot of you are going to be in new places in your life already before you get to May. Thinking in new ways, your consciousness expanding, all of that. He's very enthusiastic, ready to move forward. I love it. Would not be surprised if you are also giving messages to people like, y'all, I changed this, or y'all, this, or, big. King of Cups and the heart of your spread. I want you to really pay attention to that full moon in Scorpio. That's going to be game changing for you. It's in your 8th house. What did I say? 8th house, death and rebirth. A new you. For that rebirth, you need that death part, right? So we got to let things go, especially it's a full moon. Let that illuminate. What do you got to let go? Now, you got the King of Cups who is Scorpio, all right? But he's emotionally stable. He's very empathetic. He's got so much self-love, so much love to give. He is the rock for other people. People come to this person. You are becoming the leader with, you already are. Your cardinal sign and your Aries. But the fact that you got Saturn moving to your sign with Neptune, people are coming to you. All right. You're the one that's got that vision. You're the one that's got that creative energy. Yeah. And remember, when I say creative, think of the root, create. Yeah. All right. So wonderful. Even through choppy waters, nothing's gonna knock you down, Aries. All right, this is a monthly reading. Magician in your challenge area. Look at everything that's happening here. 2 messages. The first one: why aren't you? Let's do it. You gotta launch some things. You gotta believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. That's the main thing. All right. The Magician, card 1, kicking off the Fool's journey. This new journey. He's got the power to manifest whatever he wants. What did I say? As above, so below. His Magician, he's an active card, and he's attributed to Mercury. You've got Mercury going in your sign, first of all, the first half, then Taurus, then Gemini. Use it. It's good for you. All right? So a lot of this, again, your mindset, all right? Your heart may be moving you. Have that mind, heart, coherence. I've always talked about that. I talked about last week. Now, the other thing is that, and it just, again, self-belief. You need to believe in yourself. All right. Now, the other thing is something that's coming through is that there may be someone, 2 things are coming through. Okay. So let me just get one out of the way. I'm getting this competitive energy. Okay. So maybe not seeing eye to eye with someone. It could be in the workplace. It could be in family, but there's a little bit of competitive energy. Maybe someone maybe even taking your ideas and you're just like, what? No, right? Like things like that. All right. So just be mindful of that because these squares, especially a lot of the Pluto activity that's happening this month, which we'll break down again later, brings up jealousy, brings up obsessions and things like that too, and so there just may be someone that. Third thing is that there may be someone that you want on your journey together, and you really have to compromise and look eye to eye with things. Okay, that's all right. Now you got the Hierophant. Not surprised. Okay, 2 reasons why. The Hierophant is that spiritual leader. Yeah. This is someone who's got that sage wisdom. He's between these 2 great columns. You've heard about like Solomon's temple, right? The wisdom of Solomon. He's got all that deep knowledge, that wisdom, that, great knowledge. That's you. And that's what you want to be. And you want to be seen. And you want to be known as that. Okay? It doesn't matter where it is. It can be for humanity. It can be for your workplace. It can be for your family. Amazing. Move in that direction. You've got Saturn, Neptune in your sign. All right? And look. The first card in the major arcana where other people appear other than the main figure. You can't lead if there's no one to lead. You got the keys. You're good. All right. I love the direction that that you're, is in your crown. He does wear a triple crown too. Secondly, he's Taurus. All right. So again, that self-worth, self-value, feeling that confidence. All right. I think you're going to be working on that this month. Now you got the 5 of Swords. Again, there's that seeing not eye to eye with people. All right. But the bigger energy that's coming through from your spread is inside you. And again, Pluto is going retrograde. So remember that inner transformation. All right. Don't fight things. Don't fight things. Don't resist things. There's going to be great change that happens, especially with the sign conjuncting Uranus. Don't fight things. See how things go, but remember, use the aspects diplomatically, especially with that 5 of Swords. So it just seems like this month there may be a little bit like not seeing eye to eye. It can be a little bit of egos at play. Remember that plays out with a lot of these Pluto aspects too. It could be a boss. It could be things like that, right? Authority figure. But for you, it just may be a friend or someone close to you. We've got to see eye to eye. Everyone else has dropped their swords, right? You got to ask yourself, can I drop my swords too? Can I see eye to eye? Can we compromise? Because this card, at the end of the day, is all about self-respect, self-dignity. What did I say? You got all this Taurus energy in your second house of self-worth, self-value. You're going to be working on yourself, okay? You got so much happening in your sign. You. All right. So that's all it is. Rising above that. Okay. But again, internally, there's something I don't want you to resist anymore. All right. Take that time, spend time in nature. That's what Taurus season is. Being in nature. It's an earth sign, being grounded. You got the moon in your future. Yeah. So, wow. You got the moon. I said, pay attention to that full moon. All right. Pay attention to that full moon. That's going to be big. It's happening in the middle of the month. Pay attention. There's some things that you've got to let go for your transformation. It's happening in your 8th house of transformation. Okay. Don't resist. And to be honest, there's a lot of emotions here. Mind, heart. Okay. Mind, body, spirit, all of it. Okay. And then you're going to be fine. But there's going to be some things that are going to be illuminated. There's going to be some things that you may even bring out. Yeah. But it's all part of your journey. It's all part of your personal growth, your inner transformation. The moon in tarot attributed to Pisces. Yeah. What does that mean? The North Node is in Pisces. You just had Saturn conjunct the North Node. Okay. Just a week ago. So big. This is all part of your destiny journey, but you've got to, if there's anything up here, especially, if there's anything up here that needs to, let's break it down. New systems, new structures, new ways of thinking, not being, in your own way. That's all it is as part of your destiny. And you're going to be going deep. Remember, I said that full moon in Scorpio in general, but a lot of these aspects this month are requiring you to go deep, even with Pluto going retrograde. Pluto is Scorpio's ruling planet. It's requiring you to go deep, to unroot things. All right. So a lot of the subconscious patterns, habits, things like that. Yeah. Self-sabotage. That's the 12th house. Remember, that's the lower expression of that Pisces energy for you. Self-sabotage and hidden enemies too. All right, let's get to your stuff. Oh, Aries, you are going to have a really big month. Y'all are amazing. What else is going on? A lot of it is wealth building this month for you. And I'm just taking a quick look. There is going to be something with, third marriages. You may have, if that's a thing for y'all, there may be some activity there. Okay. Now, and remember the moon is a subconscious, right? So a lot of subconscious energy. Okay. And you got that King of Cups anyway. So don't be afraid to go deep. That's, cups are emotions, feelings, subconscious, all of that. It's just go with the flow with the go. You're going to be great. Good as gold. Let's get to your stuff. Oh, by the way, if you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Aries, I love y'all. Yeah, this is a month where you're going to go really, really deep to know who you are, to say, this is who I am. I'm moving forward. I love this. All right. Now, Knight of Cups, really great. There you go. Yeah. Move toward the things that your heart desires. That's all this is. And you're going to. And nothing, very romantic energy here as well. All right. If you are here for love, oh, wonderful. It's the Knight of Cups, Knight in Shining Armor. But at the end of the day, what's going to fill your cup? Yeah? Think about that. Remember what I said? You got Venus conjuncting Neptune right off the bat of this month in your sign. What is your heart desire? Move toward it. All right? Move toward it. A lot of creative energy here. And remember that creative energy is really heightened with Mars and Leo at the same time with everything else that's happening. All right? You got the Four of Pentacles. There you go. You see what's happening now? So, yeah, there really could be someone else here involved that two things. A is a little bit, hey, Aries, hey, Jane, hey, Thomas, hey, Katie. Let's take things slow and steady. All right? Let's use this Taurus energy to feel a little bit grounded about seeing our path forward and laying the foundation. All right? In your external factors area, the Four of Pentacles, use it. All right? Don't resist. Don't fight. Be open to change and compromise. All right? All right? So that's, and the second thing is that may be the thing that you're like, no, but I want it. So it's all about compromises here. The other thing, there is something here with work and career. And remember I said money and finances is a big thing for you. And it hits all angles with your second house and eighth house activated the entire month. The entire month. Yeah. Again, you're going to have a big focus on finances. The other thing is there may be someone that's kind of like maybe in your way on your path. But what do? You don't push them out of the way. You say, hey, what's going on? Let's talk. Let's compromise. Let's figure things out. Okay? How can we work together? Can be a boss, can be an investor, can be your parent. Yeah? Keep that in mind because this is attributed to Sun in Capricorn, by the way. So a lot of energy in terms of career for y'all. FYI. Okay? But just what you want. Okay? Saturn rules Capricorn, right? So we know that. So Saturn, like I said, will be in your sign. So this is just laying the foundation, moving forward, and slow and steady. That's what this is, okay? And then that's what you get. The richest queen. Remember what I said from the very beginning. Taking these actions to build the world that you want to live in. That's exactly what you want with the Queen of Pentacles showing up as a third card in your staff. She has the resources to build the world, the exact world, the perfect world that she wants to live in. That's what you want. Okay? So, use this. Okay? Plant those seeds. Have that self-belief. You know why she's sitting in this throne? It's because she didn't say, oh, I hope this happens, or maybe, no. She was like, I'm going to be the richest queen in the MF world. So It's that confidence. She's connected to the magician. You see they wear the same outfit. You see the roses at the top. They're connected. So you've got to believe in yourself. And there may, again, along your journey, just maybe someone you've got to compromise with. But in the end, you got the hermit in your final outcome. It makes sense, right? Going within. I said you're going deep. This is soul searching. That's deep. This is true introspection and reflection. To know what you want for your future, you've got to know. But you will. All that wisdom that's coming through is huge here. Okay, that's all gray. Remember, gray in tarot is wisdom. That's all gray, okay? But it's being grounded in the present as you think about your future. You even see the hermit here. His staff, like, grounded in the earth. And he is earth, and he is Virgo. And remember, the south node is in Virgo. Like I said, for you, that is your 6th house of everyday activities and work and even health, which includes mental health and emotional health and whatever resonates with you during this time. You got to go deep and root things, right? Move forward. What's going to work in my favor? All right. So Aries, let's break it down week by week. The first week, let's see. The first week, of course, we got Venus conjunct Neptune. Remember, that is going to be really big. Pluto going retrograde, really big. You got a lot of money stuff. And then Mercury moving into Taurus. Again, a lot of like grounded thinking, okay? With practical thinking in terms of money, finances, comfort, self-value, self-worth, all of that. Let's see what's going on for you, Aries, for the first week of May. Yep, there you go. There it is. You got the 4 of Cups. What do you want? What do you want? You got to know. But you got to be open. Remember, I said resisting, don't resist. Don't resist. There's going to be changes. Don't resist. 4 of Cups, attributed to Moon in Cancer. Yeah. And so remember what I said from the very first day of May, the moon will be in Cancer. It's got these great aspects. So this is a choice. Are you going to sit there, right, with your arms crossed while you already have 3 cups, crossing off your heart, as a hand of spirit offers you a 4th cup? Or are you going to say, I'm grateful for everything that I have, and I know that the things that I want are coming. And that's the mindset that I'm going to have. That's vibrating at a high frequency, right? That first week, use that, okay? This is a card where it is associated with like boredom and apathy, and I'm not getting what I want and nothing happens for me. That kind of energy. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that's associated with that card. And so that's why it's a big deal when this card comes up, because this is the only card in all of tarot. I told you the hand of spirit, it only appears in the aces other than this card. So that's part of the test that, Saturn's testing, especially in that 12th house, right? So I'll even clarify that. You got the 9 of Wands, more resistance, okay? But there is this resistance. Let me see. It feels more spiritual. You got the 9 of Swords. Okay. You can't resist. First week, there's going to be some change. You can't resist, okay? It does also seem like there is something where you're not seeing eye to eye with someone else too. It feels a lot of home, family related is coming up with me, but at the same time, it can be like a friendship too. So I'm not sure how big this is in terms of your journey moving forward, unless there is someone that I just mentioned as part of that, okay? And again, it can be something here like work related, but you have that 9 of Swords. So you see what will happen if you continue to resist and fight things and not have that gratitude. Second week, full moon in Scorpio. So remember, you actually feel the full moon in Scorpio the first week. It's part of your inner transformation. How do you want to transform? The full moon is going to ask you to transform now, all right? And to go within. And then you have the sun conjunct Uranus, where things are going to shake up. And remember, you want to, it surprises, unexpected surprises. And remember, you want to use it. You want to be the person that changes things in your world, right? So let's see what's going on for you for the second week of May. What'd I say? Yeah, you got the Knight of Pentacles. Knights, by the way, are action. They're all active. You have to take that action, okay? Knight of Pentacles, they're all on a mission. They all have a purpose. Great. Now, whatever lesson from the first week that you're just, okay, let's not resist because everything, you got these 2 nines, right? What did I say? That 9 is like endings, fulfillment, but also there's lower expressions of it. You've got to be excited about this new cycle, this new change as you approach 10, the beginning. Okay. And then there you go. And then you're good. You got the Knight of Pentacles, which is all about structure, stability, long-term goals and gains. This is diligence, but also patience. You see, his horse is going nowhere, and for a reason. He's planted a lot of seeds. He's going to reap his rewards, no matter how long it takes. That's that. All right. So again, you see, there's a connection here. Okay. Right here, you got to go within. We got to go within. When you do that, when you have that inner transformation, and then that changes your physical reality and your physical world. Boom, you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is your physical reality, which is money, which is wealth, which is what I told you. That's going to be a big focus on creating this long-term stability. All right, wonderful. Now, third week, we're moving into Gemini season. You got Venus trine Mars. That's going to have a big impact on you, with Mars being your ruling planet. I really want you to use that. Saturn moving into your sign, the biggest thing, because Saturn's going to be with Neptune. And oh yeah, we're going to talk about that. But again, look at my last live stream. I talk a lot more about that. And of course, that's going to affect you the most. It's moving into your sign. So look at my last live stream where I talk about that April 2025 preview. And then, oh gosh, we got a lot happening. So let's see what's going on for you with just those. Okay. Aries. Wonderful. 6 of Cups. Love it. 6 of Cups. Listen, big energy. So first of all, it's harmony. And this is when you are tapping into your inner child and you feel good after you've gotten out of your head, after you stopped resisting things, after things are now flowing and things are moving in the direction you want because you took that action. And now you don't have to worry. You don't have to stress. But hey, if you are, ask yourself, when was the last time stressing and worrying did anything good for me? Leave a comment. Someone tell me, when was the last time it actually did something good for you, right? No. This is letting your hair down. This is saying, I know I'm protected. I know, I've got security. This is the biggest house in tarot indicating that. Protection, security, the foundations of your life. You're good. You're good. Look at them. Wonderful. And big nostalgic energy. There really could be someone coming in from the past as well. It is associated with like pastimes as well, but at the end of the day, it's you being comfortable with everything that's happening. Last week, we've got big things happening. We got that new moon in Gemini, Mercury conjuncting Uranus, Mercury moving into Gemini, Mercury sextiling Saturn. Wow, a lot. Okay, the Mercury Kazemi. So you see, again, Mercury very, very active here in your third house. Communication, contracts, agreements, siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, neighbors. Yeah, travel. Let's see what's going on for you. Last week of May. And there you go. You know, this whole month seems like a journey. Seems like a journey in itself for you with life lessons. You got the Emperor. The Emperor is Aries. I hope you know that. This is you. You got your own card. You see even your symbol, right? Your glyph, the ram's in his throne. This is the Emperor. This is you. This is Saturn in Aries. All right? You're good. You're good. The Emperor is mastery of self. He is the ruler of the land, ruler of his destiny. Remember, I said you're going to have a lot of North Node activations. Yeah? So it just seems like you're going to be going through this journey, but as long as you're spiritually activated, as long as you have that mind heart coherence, the Emperor, I mean, you're going to be sitting in that throne. You're going to be full of passion. Everything is going your way. You're on top. Everything that you wanted in terms of like you being the leader, you being that person that where everything comes to fruition. That happened for the Emperor. Yeah, he's got the world in his hand, that Egyptian Ankh in his other hand, that life force energy, that Kundalini even. Like, it's very spiritual, but also like knowledge. He has great knowledge. He has all the knowledge. He has all the wisdom. He's got everything. Speaking of protection, armor. Look at him wearing that armor underneath his armor, his robe, right? Which is all about passion, right? You're protected. You're protected because you put yourself there. Nothing can. You're good. You're good. All right. So Aries, thanks so much. Next week, yeah, we'll go deeper in these aspects, especially because and you will feel them the most, a lot of them, because they're in your sign. And if you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments, tell me what's going on. And yeah, second spread. Oh God, I got 2 decks out. I got 2 decks. We're going to look at career. We're going to look at love. We're going to look at a lot of things. Okay, we'll pull more cards. And tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. And Aries, y'all are amazing. I will see you next week. All right, bye-bye.